Men don't want to be men anymore, and that's not okay. I keep seeing this argument about what does a woman bring to the table. How I grew up, I feel like it wasn't this much pressure on women to be more than what a woman is. I understand that a man wants value in a woman, but it goes a little too far when y'all expect a woman to change your tire and be everything that you're not just so you feel compensated. Now that's just crazy. I feel like if a woman isn't what each specific man wants to his specific criteria, women are just worthless, and that's not fair. And I've seen this problem a lot, but I first noticed it when this famous male influencer, he is teaching people that men shouldn't approach women. Men shouldn't go after what they want when it comes to a relationship. They should let the woman come to them. And I think that's crazy. That's kind of where I drew my final straw. Y'all, like, this generation is really altering reality. This specific influencer is genuinely trying to teach men that they have the value above all. Why can't we both have value? And I'm sorry, I disagree with that. I would say 98% of men now think that women are supposed to pursue and approach them if they're the one that's interested and they should come up first. I don't agree with that. And I'm not saying men don't want to be men anymore because they don't want to approach women. I'm saying men don't want to be men anymore because they're delegating their responsibilities. They're delegating their tasks that they've been having since the beginning of time. The pressures of this new generation and the new imaginary man-made values that they're creating is putting a lot of pressure on men. I think what's easiest to them is to allow a woman to do most of the work. That's all I'm saying. To have a woman put her extra 10 feet forward. I think what makes a woman is delicacy. I do think a woman should bring stuff to the table, but that value disregards itself as value when it's unnecessary pressures put upon it and when belittlement comes into the picture. I wasn't raised a woman should approach a man, should approach her husband and seek out her husband and da-da-da. In the Bible it says, he who finds a good woman findeth a good thing. Not she who finds herself a man. My daddy will whoop my tush if he found out that, you know what I'm saying, these new values and a woman should do this in order to get him. My daddy will pull me out the ringer if he found out I was doing this. My mama was appalled when I showed her half these YouTube and TikTok videos. Y'all be talking about these topics. I do think the only reason women are obliging to that rule because men took the equality and the pursuing and seeking and took that as okay, we could lay ourselves back. With them taking the back seat, they got a little lazy, they got a little sassy. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. I know that was a lot. These are my opinions. This is how I was raised. This is what Jenna values, and it ain't that, okay? Peace, love, and applesauce. Bye.
Why can't we both have value? That's the same question that men have been asking, but they've been called sassy.
You don't like him, you're just bored. Okay, this is your reminder. Go do something else. You do not like that man. He's not even cute. I'm not sure what you think you're seeing. I think it's just been a really long time since you know what? Okay, enough.
Ladies, if a man cannot pay 100% of the bills, do not marry him. Do not marry the 50-50. Never marry the 50-50. Okay? And let me tell you why. The reason you don't marry the 50-50 man is because this is what's going to happen. Okay? You're going to go and you're going to buy a house 50-50. And it's going to be a nice house. Then he's going to go buy a car 50-50. You're going to buy your car 50-50. And then you guys are both going to have nice cars and nice things. Okay? And he's going to look like a badass because you're paying for half of everything. So then he goes out with his friends or whatever, and there's a girl there. And she's going to be like, oh, wow, look at this man. He dresses so nice. He has a nice car. Oh, wow, wow, wow. But at the end of the day, the only reason he has a nice car and he dresses so nice is because you pay 50-50. Okay? So then he's going to have extra money to go buy her stuff and buy her a drink or whatever, or have his little affair with her because he's going to have extra money to pay for it because you're paying half of the other side. Okay? And then he's going to look awesome to this girl. But in reality, the only reason he's awesome is because you made him awesome, because you paid 50% of his awesome life. So if you want that to happen, then go 50-50 or make him pay 100% of everything and make him pay for everything. Okay? So that way you don't have to go through that. A man and a woman should never be 50-50. It should be him 100%.
One of the comments says, men don't ever settle for a woman like this. If she's not willing to go 50-50, then she's a user and a loser. Marriage is a team on everything, including finances. Bad advice. She thought that was hilarious and she laughed at it. Loser.
Ladies, you cannot go out on a date with a man and order 7 or 8 lemon drops, 2 appetizers, the biggest steak you see, ask to see the dessert menu. You don't engage in conversation. You on your phone the whole time, posting on your Instagram story, and then act surprised whenever the bill come and he say split that. Because who the hell want to pay for your rude, inconsiderate ass? The problem is not that men just don't pay for dates no more. Actually, they really don't mind paying for a date. But when you act rude and inconsiderate and entitled, that's when it becomes an issue. Because y'all will go out on dates, order like that, and then say stupid shit like, well, you shouldn't have asked me out if you can't afford it. It's not that he can't afford it. It's just the simple fact that you know damn well you only ordered the way you did because you thought it was going to be on somebody else's dime. And here y'all come with that, well, I'll order like this when I'm by myself. Shut the fuck. No, you don't. You might go to the same type of restaurants and maybe order that same type of food, but you don't go in there wilding like that. You know you don't. Like, just have some level of common courtesy. Like, if you see he ordered a cheeseburger, but you want the surf and turf, just a little consideration goes a long way. A simple, hey, do you mind if I order this? The reason why a lot of men have come to the conclusion that we just gonna split the check on the first date is because of how y'all act when y'all go out.
So I wasn't the best driver today and accidentally hit someone in the Starbucks drive-thru, and he came out of his car super upset, and I was like, oh man. So I got out of my car and was like, I'm so sorry, I like really didn't mean to hit you. Do you want to pull over so that we can figure out how to handle this? And he just looks me up and down. And he's like, you are the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. No. And then he's like, yeah, you're like stunning. You should be a model. Stop, you're making me blush. He's like, yeah, like just go on a date with me. The car is fine. I'm like, wow. Granted, he didn't say it out loud, but he was thinking it. So it's just as flattering. What a good day.
These women be on their own world, man. Just in their own world.
Hi guys, so I want to do this video and I'm going to tell y'all why, ladies, this is to my ladies, I'm going to tell y'all why men are dating outside their culture. They dating outside their race. I've seen this with my own 2 eyes. Ladies, it's time to make you aware. Some of y'all females ain't shit. Your sons are a product of your ignorance. And the reason I'm saying this is because I'm watching this with my own 2 eyes. A lot of y'all females are sorry. Let's just be real. A lot of you women out here are sorry. And the thing is, a lot of these men do want to be in these children's lives, but you have some vindictive, you have a vindictive hate towards him. He don't want to be in his kid's life. Why wouldn't he? You won't even let him to take care of his kids. And guys, I'm seeing this with my own 2 eyes.
Ladies, we need to do better. There's this trend being driven by entitled women who affirm that if the guy isn't absolutely perfect and treats them like royalty, they're out. We demand to be treated like queens, and there's nothing in us willing to treat our men like kings. So make it make sense. Isn't love and respect reciprocal? And this whole thing of if he as much breathes the wrong way, I'm out. Shouldn't we give others the space to make mistakes just as we want the grace to not have to be perfect all the time?
As a natural big booty Latina, I have no idea why there's so many girls out there who want to get a BBL, especially now that we're entering an era where skinny women are on top again. I don't want to offend anybody, but to be honest with you, when I gain weight, it all goes to my ass and my thighs, and a lot of things just look like very vulgar, right? Like even trying to just find a bikini just looks vulgar. Like I can get an extra large and it's still gonna look like a thong in me. And that's why I'm working towards being fit again and lean. Lean is key because then things feel a lot better. But for some reason, I see so many chicks still getting the lipo, still getting the BBL. You do you, boo. But to be honest with you, if I were you and I didn't have an ass, I would just get fit, be super skinny and lean, and go for that look. Like you're able to wear shorts and look super trendy and cool. You're able to wear like the short skirts that some of us thick women can't wear. And so many outfits that just look trendy and elegant and fashionable. So I don't know. If I were fat or flat ass, I would just be skinny. That's the advice from a big booty Latina like me, but don't get mad.
Well, unfortunately, for a lot of these young women, their self-esteem is in the tank. So your advice is going to go in one ear and out the other.
All right, so my content might be getting a lot juicier coming up. I am just getting out of the gym. I was walking into the gym, and I finally, after 4.5 full years, bumped into my ex-husband. Mind you, the last time I saw that man, I was happily married to him. We broke up over the phone. That's an interesting one. And, you know, Baltimore's a small town. I have never, ever, ever bumped into him going to all of the same places that, like, he would probably go. And even this gym, I had been a member for 2 years before. I just rejoined after a couple months, well, several months away. And I'd never, ever, ever seen him. And I thought, like, God, that's so weird, but who cares? And I'm walking down one set of stairs. There's another set of stairs kind of leading down into this, you know, to where the locker rooms are. But it's probably, I don't know, like 25 yards away. So I'm coming down, looking at the stairs, and then I look up and I see this person. And on the other set of stairs, like, I'm like trying to figure out, like, how do I know him? And it dawns on me. And as it dawns on me, I'm like pointing, like, oh, that's my ex-husband. But the whole time he's looking at me, so he must have seen me. I don't know if he knows that I'm a member there. I don't know if he saw me coming down the stairs and was preparing for it. But I'm like looking and I'm like, and I like nod and he nods. And then that little punk ass, he runs, he turns the corner, he runs to the locker room. You know, I guess I did traumatize that man more than I thought, given how much he traumatized me. I think he probably deserved it. But guess what? It's about to go down. Could be good, or maybe I never ever see him again. Maybe he ends his membership. Either way, man, if you make your ex-husband run from you, you done good. You done real good.
What? Do y'all hear yourselves? Coping mechanism. It don't matter what age these modern women are. Full-blown coping mechanism.
Are y'all ready to talk about the gym bros? The men that always at the gym, that are obsessed with the gym? Are y'all ready to talk about why they're always at the gym and why they spend so much time at the gym and who they're seeing at the gym and what they're looking for at the gym? Because it's not women. Who be at the gym? Who do they be seeing at the gym? Who do they be in the locker rooms with at the gym? Who do they be sweating with, taking pictures with, showering with, bonding with all the fun at the gym? That they always gotta be there and they just love the gym so much and they always gotta admire other men, like, oh my God, look at his muscles, or oh my God, his physique. All of this, like, just obsessed with the other men at the gym. But do y'all want to talk about it?
Y'all give anybody at the gym? What the heck are you talking about? Turn the camera off and go to bed.
There's a lot of women waiting for men to approach them, but then shaming the men who do.
If you go on TikTok or if you go on X, you'll find a lot of videos of women filming themselves as a guy inappropriately came and made a gesture to them and then like publicly shaming them on the internet. It's very popular to do it in the gym. They set up a phone, they're working out, a guy comes over and asks if they need help with the weights. It then goes viral online because that guy was being inappropriate. Like, you shouldn't. So like, as a guy, it's quite complicated to know how and where you can roll up without being filmed and going viral.
So we talked about the first dating paradox, which is just the idea that women now need more from men and are raising the bar because they can be providers on their own, but men weren't taught how to do that and there's sometimes shame for it. So I think the second big dating paradox is that men are expected to lead and to approach, but I truly feel like in a post-Me Too era, it's much more confusing. And so many people say to me, I don't want to meet on an app, that's not romantic, I want to meet in real life. But I'm not finding that people are meeting in real life because people are afraid to approach each other. I think one is being afraid of being called creepy, but the other one, which is what you're talking about, is that this culture of making TikToks or going online with this datertainment to talk about how this person approached you or how inappropriate that was. And so I feel like there's a lot of women waiting for men to approach them, but then shaming the men who do. I think one of the solutions there is we should allow people to shoot their shot in a non-creepy way.
Can I just say something to that? if the guy rolls up and he's 6'4" and he's, gorgeous, it's fine, it seems.
The difference between creepy and romantic is the perceived attractiveness of the person making the overture.
I think that is true. If you are super hot, it's less likely to be perceived as creepy. But you have all these people that are saying, I want to be approached, and they're not being approached. And so there was this rise of run clubs last summer, right? Everyone said the new dating app is the run club. I ask everywhere I go, have you met someone at a run club? No, people are not really meeting there. So since 2017, the number one way that people are meeting is online. Hinge is setting up a date every 2 seconds. This is where the dating is happening. If people want more things to happen offline, they actually have to approach each other. And I'm just not seeing that happen.
Why would these types of women meet anybody at a run club? You told men not to approach you anywhere. You would be there to run. You would be there at the gym to work out. You would be there at the grocery store to shop. You've effectively eliminated all of your possibilities, and you're confused as to why you're not getting any chances. No possibilities, no opportunities to say yes to any dates. This is exhausting.
This is unfortunate. I'm seeing a lot of men say that they are no longer holding the door open for women because we are just simply not saying thank you. We are unappreciative. We are saying, I got it. I don't need you to hold the door open for me, or why are you holding the door open for me? And so that is something that I honestly did not know that men were going through. And I didn't know that women were not saying thank you, and that's not okay. I personally, when a man holds the door open for me, when it does happen, I always say thank you, and I always express my gratitude. And I always hold the door open for anyone who is coming behind me. I don't care who it is, male or female, anyone who is coming behind me, I'm going to hold the door open. It is unfortunate to see that women are not saying thank you from what the men are saying, and that this is the reason why men are no longer holding the door open for us.
Let's just say you're making $1 million. Let's just go ahead and say it. You're making $1 million. Then how much do you want to get married one day?
Mm-hmm.
You want children?
Yes, I do.
How many children would you like to have?
3 to 4.
3 to 4. And do you want to have to work to pay significant bills after you're pregnant with your first child after marriage?
I probably will have to.
Do you want to have to work to pay significant bills after you're pregnant with your first child when you're married?
Yes.
Okay. What percentage of the family financial load do you want to have to be responsible for a lifetime with 4 children, you and a husband? What percentage overall for a lifetime?
20 to 30.
20 to 30%. So you still are looking for a provider male, a man making enough to pay 70 to 80% of the bills, meaning if you stop working for any reason, the family would not be significantly impacted. How much money would a man need to make to provide for a family of 4 children, a wife, and himself to not have her income impact the family in any long-term way? How much money would he need to make annually?
Probably 80 to 100,000.
What state do you live in?
Texas.
$80,000 for 6 people.
I grew up in the country, so it doesn't really...
See what I mean? They don't know their caps, folks. See, this is a woman that says she thinks her plan is to make $1 million, but I got down to the real numbers of it. She thinks a man with $80,000 will be able to provide a middle-class lifestyle.
Why wouldn't he, though? You said middle class.
Math.
I mean, if anybody has ever watched Kevin Samuels, this is a walk in the park. You already know what these types of women are going to say. And every single time on cue, they say it and wrap themselves up in the delusional world that they continue to want to be in.
Am I wrong for refusing to give my coworker a ride after she got her car towed, even though we live 5 minutes apart? Seems petty to me, but let's get into it. I am a 33-year-old male, and I work at a mid-sized marketing firm. One of my coworkers, Ashley, who is a 28-year-old female, recently had her car towed because of a bunch of unpaid parking tickets. Don't judge her. She doesn't have the money to get it back right away, so she's been scrambling to find rides to work. Now, we live 5 minutes apart, which I didn't even know until she brought it up to me last week in the office. She came up to me and said, "Hey, I just realized that we live super close. Would you mind giving me a ride for the next couple of weeks until I get my car back?" I was caught off guard and said, I'd think about it. The thing is, I really value my alone time during my commute. I use the 20 minutes to mentally decompress, listen to my podcast, and just not talk to people. I'm also not a morning person, and I know that Ashley is super chatty and energetic at 8 a.m. So it's not personal. I just don't want her to drain me before the day starts. So I politely told her that I'm sorry, but I'm not comfortable committing to driving someone every day, especially in the mornings. I offered to help her figure out a bus route, or I suggested that she could carpool with someone else. She didn't take that well. She rolled her eyes and said, wow, it's literally nothing for you to drop me off and pick me up, but go off. And she's been cold to me ever since. A couple coworkers think I'm being selfish and it wouldn't kill me to help her out for a few days. I feel bad, Kiki, but I also feel like I'm allowed to say no to something that will affect my daily mental health. Am I wrong?
How old are you?
19.
Relationship status?
Single.
Why do you think you're single at 19?
Because I choose to be.
For what reason?
Because I date to marry.
So you'd only date somebody if you know you'd have a future with them?
Yeah.
And what qualifications would a guy need?
He has to be intentional. I'm also Christian, so I would want him to be Christian. Be a man of God and a man who fears God. And a man who is intentional with creating a future.
That's
How
really
tall
nice.
does he have
That's a
to
nice
be?
response.
I don't care as long as he's taller than me. Yeah.
Short things allowed?
Yeah, I don't care. It's pretty easy to be taller than me anyways.
And by God-fearing, do you
He's
mean
done.
does he have to be very religious or just
Like-
can he just go once a week to church and be kind of...
No, I would want him to be really religious because I am, and I don't want to go by myself on Sundays. I want him to lead our family. Yeah.
So you put God first, man second, and then you under him?
Yes.
And the child under you?
No, the child before me.
Unfortunately, the women, I'm not even going to say they're not taught. They just don't care and they throw it in the trash. It's great to see somebody taking the teaching and running with it.
Name one thing women created. 8 billion people.
It actually takes a woman and a fan to create life. Have a good one.
Like, stop saying stupid stuff. You know that literally, biologically, scientifically makes no sense.
I used to justify wearing revealing clothing by saying, oh no, I'm getting dressed for me.
Yes, not for you.
Not for you, not for the male gaze. This is what I like, this is what I feel comfortable with. And for a time, that makes sense until you realize that, one, people will address you the way, according to how you're dressed most of the time. Two, the male imagination is a very fragile thing. It can be inspired by just a shoulder. My goodness. And so if your whole, you know what I'm saying, if your nipples are out, you can imagine what that man is thinking in his mind. And he's not approaching you to have a conversation about the political state of the country. No. He's approaching you with the intention of making sure he sees the rest of what he's not seeing right now.
Promise you, if women can actually customize it, they would change them every week. Every week.
So.
If you want to communicate, oh, this talk too much.
Yeah.
Let me dial this back.
Right, he got too much to say.
Yeah,
They
I
would-
got something to say. Oh, I need a Back. 12 inch, not this.
Nah.
That's too much punishment. Let me dial this back. Like they would literally customize this every week.
You
I
too
want
tall.
him tall,
He too tall.
but not too tall. Like not over 6'6". He too aggressive.
But not
I
under
thought I
6'1".
wanted to be a thug, but damn,
Trust
too
me.
both.
He was
How can I get this right? It ain't him.
right.
It's you.
Absolutely.
Are you satisfied with anything? Women
Not for long enough.
Women happiness
Not
flee
for long.
women
I promise.
in a relationship quicker than men.
You said what? They get bored.
Happiness
They get bored.
flee
right?
women in a relationship quicker than men.
So what is it? What? Absolutely.
What, get bored?
Y'all get bored. Y'all don't.
It be going too good.
Y'all not happy.
They're like he just be
All of
sitting
that.
out there and be saying that. What'd you think about? Nah. No, what's wrong with you? Women, Like, will, nah, I'm yo, just- women will create an argument just so you can confirm that you still love them.
Wow, ladies.
Wow. 55,000 women caught in a group chat talking about how they finesse men out of money. 55,000 women caught in a group chat discussing on how they can get their light bills paid, car note paid, rent paid, how they can get a new purse, some new shoes. This is disgusting. 55,000? Y'all need to do better. Y'all need to do better. Guys, share this post. 55,000 women trying to finesse us.
I'm not sure which man needs to hear this today, but I know at least one of you does, so please hear me. I know that social media is full of a narrative that you're not doing enough as a man, that you don't provide enough, that you need more money, that you have to, do all of these things and the whining and the dining, or you're not enough. And I just want to encourage you and remind you that you are, let's start there, you are enough, you do have purpose, and that not every woman thinks that way. And a lot of that content is driven from unhealed spaces. And what they do is they take one or two situations that they allowed and they put it on the mass of you, and it is not true. And I just want to remind you to not ever lose sleep over the opinion of sheep.
The divorce rate among straight couples is about 40 to 50%. Among gay couples, men and men, it's about 30%. Among lesbian couples, it's about 70%. Now, if we're saying that men are the problem in relationships, why is the divorce rate among women much higher than men and women and men? Now, we know women initiate divorces more, so that's what they're saying is the reason why the divorce rate among women is so high. But again, if men are the problem, why is the divorce rate that much higher among women and women? What do you guys think?
I've been in a relationship for 2 years and my boyfriend and I have never fought. It's not because we're that compatible, it's because I literally studied interpersonal psychology. Oh my god, I am so passionate about this. Especially in a relationship, it shouldn't be me versus you. It's us versus the confusion of understanding each other. For my Ivy League psychology degree, I literally spent an entire semester in a class called perception. And the next word you need to know is perspective. While perception and perspective seem kind of similar, they're actually very different. Perception is your subjective experience of the world using your 5 senses. But perspective is understanding and recognizing that everyone has their own unique perception of the world. When most couples fight or argue, it's usually got to do with some sort of communication error about where each party is coming from. One person is saying one thing, the other person is saying something else, and it's not getting through to each other. And it's usually because even from the same factual event that happened, people can have infinite different interpretations. Okay, I can go off about this because I'm kind of a nerd in this field, but what can you use? What can I actually incorporate? The goal is clarity. It's clearing the confusion, not And I think that's why my boyfriend and I never fight, because when I don't agree with something he's doing, I'll just ask him to clarify. Like, can you explain that to me in more detail? Because my small brain is not comprehending what you're saying, but the more you explain, I think I might understand your perspective. I had to spend an entire semester learning this, but cheers to learning things faster on the internet.
Great advice. That's one of the biggest things I've had to learn is to let stuff go. Just stop arguing. You get to a point to where there might be just a miscommunication of what, or a different idea of what somebody thought about or how they felt about it. And you be so used to like attack. It's just like, oh, okay. And just let that in. And I know you're upset and you're angry and you feel a certain way, but over time, you're not going to get it right the first time, but over time you should be like, okay, I understand that and accept that. And then just, okay, so what do you want for dinner tonight? That's a weird transition, but at some point in time, if you want your relationship to be successful, both of you guys got to say, you know what, I'm just going to let it go. It's not that big of a deal. We're on the same team, and really honestly and truly move forward.
Question for the men's. What does it mean when a woman doesn't really engage with you and you're really pursuing her, but then when she does engage and is like flirty and confident with you, you lose interest or don't engage with her?
it means you wasted enough of my time and I'm going back to what I was doing in the first place.
My husband is the victim of this.
Okay.
Us ladies, we have a secret schedule.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is I have a full plan in my head of what I want to do in a day or a week. And I don't communicate that schedule with my husband.
Okay.
And then I expect him to follow it to a T that day. And when he doesn't, I get upset.
Can I get an idea of a secret schedule?
I want to, get to the farmer's market right at 2:00. And I want to get flowers first. And then I want to get eggs. And then I want to get a coffee. And then, but I want to leave by like 4:30.
Okay. And what part of that are you sharing?
Literally zero. The only part I'm sharing is like, let's go to the farmer's market.
Well, first off, we should definitely start sharing the secret schedule with Noelle.
What I do is I spring it in the moment. I'm like, oh, let's go do this right now. And Noelle's like, let's just do this instead. And I'm like, well, how dare you say that we do anything other than what's being mapped out in my head?
What's going on with this schedule?
It's just the women's secret schedule that we hold ourselves to and we hold our partners to. And we get pissed when it goes awry. Awry?
Yeah.
Like a piece of bread.
It's funny because I do share the secret schedule now. Obviously, I'm like an elite person. I have to get all the thoughts out. Like, I have to say this. I have to just lay it all on the table so you know what's
Don't you look insane?
I am an insane person. I always look insane. There is never a day that goes by in my life that I don't look crazy. 100%.
Honestly, it is terrible communication, but this is what women do. This is how they communicate. Hey, let's go to the farmer's market. They clear their entire schedule because they both know they're going to be in there for a while. A man, a lot of times, I'm going in there to get something and I'm leaving, right? So they don't think that they need to communicate that because my girlfriend would just automatically know we don't have a time limit. We don't have a time schedule. We're thinking about what we want to do. And that's the problem in a lot of these relationships with modern women. They only think about what they want. They only think about what a man's going to give them. They only think about how he's going to provide. And then when a man says, okay, I've laid out my value proposition, what is it that, you're kind of going to be doing? Like, if I'm doing all of these things, what can I expect? And then they get upset, just all up in arms, just blowing smoke. But if your job and your employer then asked you, okay, this is what we can offer you, $100,000 a year, 3 weeks of PTO, health insurance, fully paid premiums. What can you offer us? And then you turn on, I can give you this, and this. But all of a sudden, if a man should ask you that, he's the worst in the world. He's a red flag. He's a dick.
It's a lot of women who you will sit down and ask her, like, hey, like in your last relationship, like what role did you play in it going wrong?
Right.
And she'll look you dead in the eyes and say nothing. I did what I was supposed to do. He cheated.
Yeah.
Or I did what I was supposed to do. He neglected me.
Yeah.
Or whatever the case. You know what I'm saying? But no, it's something, but that speaks to the accountability of most women. And a lot of women lack accountability. And because of that they continue to repeat the same.
A lot of women.
Yeah, let me, hold on. Let me make sure the mic is working. I said a lot of women lack accountability and that caters to them constantly repeating the same mistakes.
That right there, what you said, a lot of women lack accountability. No. And I can say a lot of men lack accountability. Y'all cover up this and act like y'all's emotions just shut off. And the moment that a woman tell you about, y'all want to know so much about us. But the moment we tell you one thing about our past or about something that's very important to us, it's like, oh, she crazy. Like we closing that door as though everything has to be perfect. So I don't agree with that comment. A lot of women lack accountability. How about we address the men lacking your emotional state at the time that you're trying to get to know the woman? Like,
I think what you're doing is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Because again, I never said that men don't lack accountability. When you said it, I nodded. Yep, you're right. A lot of men do. But just the mere mention of a woman having something to work on made you feel away. If you tell a woman that she needs to work on something, or you tell a woman that she's doing something wrong, you automatically go into defense, right? Or automatically like spin it back to what the man is not doing or spin it back to what you did wrong. No. Sometimes you need to really just accept what that person is saying. Yeah, they may be wrong too, and we'll get to that. But right now we on you. Mm-hmm. Don't spin it back in my moment of telling you what you need to work on. And a lot of women do that.
This guy's friends understood the assignment. Spot on. What?
Pokemon stuff. Everybody got a video. Maybe you left your wallet in your car? No, I took the car. I took my credit card. I left it at home. I don't know where it is. Oh. Do you think you can send me like $450? Hello? Hello? I think the connection failed.
Y'all slick, but she's calling you right back or sending you a text.
They just let it flow so loosely out of their mouths. Oh, just 450. It's not going to be a problem.
You men are not going to like me for saying this, but you know what? I don't care. America, I think it's time we form a state where only women can live. No men allowed. Just an estrogen-filled utopia where we can all finally live in peace.
Yeah, y'all will cut off real quick. Because the only thing that females hate more than men are other women. This is why girls will tell you, I don't even hang out with women, they're too messy. Or maybe this is why if you're a lesbian, you're 3 times more likely to get a divorce than any other couple. So yeah, that perfect society would go from utopia to Lord of the Flies real quick. And who's gonna build it in the first place?
I can say that I didn't like paying for it.
That's fine. But don't say you paid for something when you did.
Okay, but the only reason I
There's
didn't...
a clip of you saying you paid for the whole trip.
I was supposed to pay for the Airbnb.
I'm not
it was
saying
supposed to come from my account.
Supposed to. I'm black and white. I'm very black and white.
Okay.
You either paid for it or you didn't.
Well, I was about to.
It's black and white. Did you pay for it? No, you didn't.
Now I didn't.
No, there was never you did pay for it. I paid
I
for
was
it.
about to, but my Zelle was maxed out.
You were never going
because,
to pay for it.
And whose Zelle was sent to me?
You're the one that
they
always...
didn't send the Zelle to you.
You're the one that always says...
Who did Santos?
There's no if or buts.
Who did Santos ask to pay
listen,
Wes?
I'm not arguing
He sent
with you.
Wes's information to me, not to you.
Stop telling people that you paid for
Yeah, now
shit.
you paid for it.
No, there's no now. It was always I paid for it. Okay. Stop saying you paid for my shit.
Okay, I won't say that. Jesus Christ. No need to be.
You running that mouth, you got to get put in your place. Y'all be disrespecting people. Y'all be going out here trying to trip on people, trying to embarrass them in front of everybody. And I think if I remember this clip correctly, she was on stream doing that nonsense and had to get checked. Now, oh, you ain't got to be rude. You ain't had to keep your mouth running. Be quiet.
No offense, but these are facts. You guys will kill and destroy everything and anything that's good.
I want to talk about men.
We're awesome.
Why are you awesome?
Because we're simple. If you put 5 men in a room of every different religion, ethnicity, and age, the first thing that most men would do is try to find common ground. What's your favorite food? What sports team do you watch? That's men. You put 5 women in a room of all ethnicities and all religions and all ages. And what they do is look at who the weakest one is and the strongest one is, and they pair up. And they go, do you believe her hair? Do you believe that purse she's wearing? Look at those heels. That had surgery. We look for common ground. Women look to divide and conquer, and you guys will destroy everything and anything that's good. No offense, but these are facts. I'm Timmy Bounceback, and I'm back.
Okay.
So you're telling me that if I get married, I should still work in case my husband leaves me. I should have my own money, my own savings, my own bank account, my own everything, because there's always going to be a chance of my husband leaving. This is the problem with modern feminists. They just talk about every possible wrong thing that can happen if you choose to become a wife. And the problem starts way before you got married. Here's the truth. Most of these modern feminists are divorced. Why? Because they didn't choose the right partner. So yes, indeed, they had horrible men that they couldn't trust. They chose men that were using them, that were lying to them, that were cheating on them. So whose fault is it? Come on, women. It's not the men's fault. Seriously. Like, I know that when I had horrible partners, I chose them and I chose to stay and I chose to entertain and I chose to go on dates with them and I chose to text them back. I was doing that. So yeah, don't believe these mad feminists who are just making bad decisions for their life and picking the wrong partners, and then they walk out of a relationship and they're like, all men are the same. And the funny thing is that they will say, I knew he was a cheater. If you knew, Karen, then why were you entertaining? And it comes from a place of lack of self-awareness and awareness in others. That is exactly why I am against the modern feminist, and I am here to bring value